Have you ever walked down a street and felt like a building was watching you? In Whitechapel, London, there's a place that does more than just watch. Locals call it the Shadow Hospital. It sits behind a boarded-up fire escape, an abandoned structure that officially doesn't exist anymore, but appears on certain nights, wrapped in a silence that feels heavier than stone. This building was once part of the old London hospital, decommissioned in the early 90s due to asbestos and decay. But the construction workers who sealed it reported strange things. More hospital beds than were on the blueprints, doors leading to floors that were never designed. They tried to laugh it off, but then they started quitting. One man said, "We heard the patients, but the halls were empty." Another swore that when he tried to leave, the staircase shifted, sending him back up instead of down. The hospital was eventually locked up and forgotten, but Whitechapel never forgot. In 2016, the sightings began. A paramedic on a late-night call saw lights flickering inside the sealed building, with silhouettes pacing behind the windows. Police investigated, but found only darkness. The next morning, however, the construction barriers around the site had been torn down from the inside. Since then, people have reported seeing modern figures: a nurse pushing an empty gurney, a surgeon in a blood-soaked mask, a small child in a hospital gown whose feet never touch the ground. They all vanish the moment you get too close. But the most terrifying apparitions are the shadow patients. Witnesses describe dozens of dark silhouettes gathering near the sealed emergency entrance, swaying as if they're waiting to be admitted. One woman tried to film them, but when she raised her phone, they all turned to look at her at once. She dropped her phone and fled. The video she recovered later only captured the welded emergency doors sliding open on their own. Then there's the case of the missing time. In 2021, a tourist couple was walking home late at night when they saw doctors waving them over from the hospital entrance, insisting the woman needed help for a tiny cut on her hand. Before she could even respond, she blacked out. They woke up together on a park bench at sunrise. Her hand was crudely stitched with thick, black thread. No hospital in the area had any record of treating her, and doctors later said the stitching was unprofessional, as if done in a rush by someone out of practice, or someone no longer human. Urban explorers have a theory. The Shadow Hospital exists somewhere between reality and memory, a place for the spirits of patients who died waiting for help that never came. Their souls return to the only place they knew, forever waiting in a corridor where the called bell is never answered. So if you're ever in Whitechapel and you see the lights on in that abandoned building, don't stare. If you hear a faint bell ringing, don't respond. And if a doctor steps out and offers you help, don't you dare follow them inside. Because those who enter become the new staff, and that staff has been on duty non-stop for over 30 years. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales from the shadows.